I'm Tamika D. Mallory.
And it's your boy Mysonne, the General.
We are your host of TMI.
Tamika and Mysonne's information, truth, motivation, and inspiration.
New name, new energy, but
same old us.
What's up, Mysonne Linda? How you doing today?
I'm good, Tamika D. Mallory. How you feeling today?
Good, I'm good. Book tours in progress. People, when I say that my friends are showing out, not just friends, but everybody on the team, people are working together. You know, as I said to you, I really have been pouring my heart and soul into this project, really doing the same work that I've done for everything else, doing it for myself. And I am so very proud of what I've been able to accomplish thus far. And a lot of it, I have 4 dates that were planned specifically by the publishers. So Simon and Schuster worked on them. Shout out to my girl Shida Carr, who has been busting up her sides, working really hard to make sure that we have the right events, the right PR and all of that. And very grateful to her. Sarita Oglesby, who has taken on the PR around other things and helping us to target local markets. Awesome. Obviously, the rest of the team, Latoya and everybody that I don't even have to mention, because I say all the time that they have really, really been working together as a well-oiled machine to make this thing happen. But my friends who have churches, who have different places and experiences that they can offer, they have been doing the work. They've been acting like this book is their own. And I'm so grateful to everybody. If I start naming people, I'll leave somebody out. So I know better than to do that. But everything from my party that you all helped to put together for me in New York City. Obviously, Charlemagne and Nakia were there and did such a great job. And then on Thursday, and shout out also to Duce and Poppy Wines for providing us with all the wine and spirits. It was at a place, if you live in New York City, you need to make sure you go to PB Brasserie on 125th Street. It's 60 West 125th Street. It is an African-owned and inspired restaurant, steakhouse, amazing food, always amazing. And the food was actually good that night. Then we, went into to February 13th, which we had a nice event at the New York Public Library with my friend Janelle Aggie, who is the editor the executive director of editorial at Ebony Magazine, and the public advocate in New York City, Jamani Williams. And then it has just gone on and on, from Jamal Bryant, his church, to now, we've had a number of events across the country. I don't want to get myself in trouble, but it has just been people opening doors, people saying, can you come here? I'm buying this book, 100, 200, 300, people just really doing their thing. And so I am so very appreciative of every single bit of support, because, it's not easy to sell a book. We all know that. It's not easy to tell your life story. It's not easy to be vulnerable. It's not easy to do any of these things. And people don't got to buy anything from you. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? There's no guarantee that somebody's going to say, oh, let me go pick up Tamika Mallory's book. They can say, it's not the time, I'm not interested. But folks have not just been buying one book. They've been buying 5 and 10 books and sending them to friends and posting on socials. And I'm just very, 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 very appreciative that my story, my book, I Live to Tell the Story, is doing as well as it's doing. So that's my testimony.
No, it's an amazing book. I'm up to chapter 3 right now. And you was a bad little girl. I could see you just running around with pigtails, and your mother like, what is going on with you? But it's a beautiful read so far. And everybody that I hear, they break out in tears. And I just want to say congratulations, man. Like you said, you worked hard. You put it in. This is your second book, and I know the emotions that go into this book, because you speak. You're very open about your past and about all these things. A lot of things you never talked about, but things that I know that you talked about, that I know just reliving those things must.
Well, I never talked about publicly, but
you never talked
right
about publicly. There's just reliving those things, and going re-traumatizing yourself, and I see A lot of times you talk about just as you read and you did the audio version that you had to cry a lot of times because it touched you in a different way. So I just want to say, man, we appreciate you, we honor you, and continue to be great. And the book is going to do amazing because it's supposed to.
Yeah, I hope so. I believe so. It's already doing amazing. And the good thing about understanding the world we live in is that for me, the win is that I got it done. I put it in the world, and there have been hundreds of people who I'm in touch with. So there's even more than that in terms of folks that don't have my phone number who have reached out to me to say, this is really incredible. It's a real page turner. I'm into it, or I'm listening to the audio book. I feel the passion. Now finally my father has said to me, it was really tough for him to get through those first few chapters. He said the early stuff was really, really, really hard. And now that, he understands even more about what was happening, it hurts, but he's able to let it go also. So it's a healing and release of a lot of years and years, decades of pent up stress, aggravation. My mother's like, you need a switch to your ass today for the stuff that was happening then that I told you not to go, not to do, not to say. And so, but I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's hard for him to hear that my teacher, when I was a young girl, asked me to sit on his lap. Like, whose father wants to hear that type of experience your daughter had and never said anything just to try to keep from there being anything in the household, keep him, try to protect my dad. So it's difficult, but nonetheless, as he said, that he had to encourage my mother to keep going, because as you get deeper in the book, there becomes some light stuff, some fun stuff, some great moments. And you begin to see this person who started in one place blossom into something, and it all makes sense. It's like it all clicks. So that's what I live to tell the story. It's all about. If you haven't purchased my book yet, please, 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 I'm asking you to get you a copy, give one away.
Get you one
for yourself. Purchase a copy and an audio version. Purchase a copy and an audio version, and an Audible version rather, and a Kindle version. Just get it all, and it's all good. So that's that. Let me tell you what my thought of the day is today, because I know we are running up against time, and we have a real good guest coming up today that I want us to give the proper time to. So I just want to say this publicly. And by the way, on this tour, it's freezing across the whole country. So, that's another part of the whole thing, is that we chose to do this in the winter time. And it's freezing in America. Is it freezing where you all live? I don't know, but it's definitely freezing everywhere. 12 degrees, 2 degrees. 20, 30 being like the highest. So that makes it a little bit more challenging, but it is what it is. Here's my thought of the day, y'all. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck, okay? We spend a lot of time trying to make excuses and find ways to, make sense of, and also to try to take on mentally these concepts or thoughts and ideas and realities that surround us. And what I mean by that is that it's so much shit going on in our society that in order to be able to deal with it without losing your mind, you will find yourself trying to believe and process certain things, hoping maybe what I see, I don't really see, because what I see is so serious that I don't want to see it. That's where we are. It's like, maybe Donald Trump and them are not actually, going through the government, firing people and trying to reduce the number of whistleblowers that's around to see what they're doing and to report on it. So they're taking many people out and then replacing people with folks who they claim are committed to their principles, people who are more aligned with their political strategies, and people who are supposed to be doing the work to audit the government and find corruption. And so you try to make yourself believe, well, maybe he actually is, because there's got to be corruption, because we all know that corruption is absolutely in the government. But the problem is that the chief corruptors are looking for a way to deal with corruption. And instead, what they're really doing is replacing people so that their corruption doesn't.
It's misdirection. It's called misdirection.
So that their corruption does not end up in them being indicted again and again and actually having to serve prison time. That's what it is. They're looting, if you will, the government, looking for places where people can make money, where they can get contracts, they can give their friends the things that they need, they can restore some relationships, and they just doing their thing, right? And that's it. So it's not, so what you see is actually happening right in front of you, and I would say it's akin to you just being like, well, I don't think that my wife, is ready to leave me. I don't think my wife is ready to leave me. I don't think my wife is ready to leave me. I see signs. She don't want to have sex. She don't want to talk. We don't go anywhere. Everything looks like she's leaving me, but I still want to believe that maybe she's not, right? That's what we tell ourselves so that we don't have to face what's in front of us. So I was doing some research on Elon Musk because we believe that he is actually the one who's running the show, right? Now, I know that I believe this not because of what somebody else told me, but I actually have been listening to his words, and now I've done some research on where Elon Musk actually comes from. Now, there may be people out there who are like, we already know all of this stuff, but I don't think so, because I don't hear enough people talking about it. So Elon Musk, by the way, I believe he's running things. And like I said, it is because of some of the things I've heard him say. So he was on a conference call just several days, maybe a week ago, which was reported, in which on a conference call, he said, if it's now or never to do all the things we want to do. If we don't get it done now, we're never going to be able to do it. So we should just do everything. We should, reduce the government, terminate people, just do everything that we want to do now while we can get away with it. And he said, if we make a mistake or we miss the mark, then we could just add people back. So let's just fire people and then we'll find new people to add back. So that's his mentality. And then Donald Trump says Elon Musk is not doing anything that we have not given him the green light to do. So that means that they've agreed that whatever he's saying is what it is. And I interpret it as, I don't really know Donald Trump because I'm not that bright any damn way. And I don't really know how to do it. But I, like other people that I see, black, white, all kinds of people who are mesmerized by the amount of money that Elon Musk has. And therefore, they have accepted that he must know something because he's been able to build all these businesses and he's the world's most richest man. And he's got all of this, wealth and whatnot. He's got all these toys, tunnels under the ground. He's got spaceships. He's got all these things. So we're going to just, pretty much let him be the lead and we'll see if maybe he can do that for the rest of us. Bullshit. So number one, I just want to say this. Let me just give you a couple points. So in doing my research, what I found is that Elon Musk's grandparents were a part of, basically they were neo-Nazis, right? And his grandparents, when they were in Canada, they were a part of a right-wing society that supported Nazis. They supported the ideals of neo-Nazism. That's who they were. This is something verifiable. In fact, his mother, May, had a boyfriend who tells the story that Elon's grandparents, who were it was his girlfriend's parents, they were weird, that they had these ideals that were like far right-wing ideals. He says that they were actually pretty like dangerous and scary people, and he didn't like them. He didn't even want to be around them. So he broke up with her because he was like, these people, they're not good people. I don't want to be associated with it. This is the grandparents. So we back to if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck.
And that's who raised him. So
It's a duck. These are the people who raised him. Then you come to his family and how they got to South Africa. It is outlined in multiple articles. It is being discussed by historians, how they went to, obviously Canada started to shift to become a little bit more liberal. So they weren't able to be as outwardly racist in Canada, and so they were looking for other places. They found South Africa as somewhere that they wanted to go because they supported apartheid. They supported apartheid. And so they wanted to be there. They went there supporting apartheid. Now, recently, we see that Elon Musk on a Zoom, he was a part of an alt-right conference for some German group, right? These people are like extremists as well. He got on their call. He didn't say, well, I don't think that it's appropriate for me to be a part of this type of conversation, understanding who these people are and understanding their ideals, and then ultimately how this will look to the Jewish community, to Black communities, to everybody, because we know that in these alt-right groups, oftentimes that's where you find racist people baked in, people who believe in fascism, and ultimately people who believe in apartheid and colonialism, stealing people's land, right? So he didn't say, well, I don't think that's an appropriate place for me to be. Not only did he go and speak to the people at the conference, he told them, hey, I think that we should be moving past the point where you will feel guilty about what your ancestors or your parents or other people did. Now, again, and then, of course, there is the symbol that he did that we know exactly what it looked like. And we believe that the symbol was exactly what it represents. So people will say, well, I don't know, maybe not, maybe his parents. But if the man today is still carrying the same mindset, talking points, and involved in an administration, leading an administration, and doing things like rolling back diversity, equity, and inclusion, speaking of immigrants, migrants, and disabled people and other people, degrading them and wanting to criminalize people, the president of the United States talking about police having immunity. This is the type of thing that he is a part of. So why would we think that somehow what he said, where his family comes from, the fact that his parents raised him in apartheid South Africa, why would we believe that somehow he is not exactly what we see in front of our faces? And he is running the government, has access to every single bit of our information, our social security numbers, our payment systems. Now, people will say, well, we think that he's good at, seeking out government corruption and whatever. Elon Musk, the same man who last week called people on government assistance, people who, just folks who are regular working people, he said they are parasites. He used these words. He used that word. I didn't use that word. He said they are parasites, right? He's also a parasite. If his definition of people who are taking government assistance and government resources are parasites, let's be clear. His businesses failed and he used money from government assistance, government subsidies to help him build his businesses back and to be able to be the richest man in the world, if that's true. I don't know, but that's what they say. He used government subsidies. You should just look it up. So we better be real clear about what we see in front of our faces, because a lot of people are sitting by acting like what we see is normal and it's cool and, well, we're going to see what comes out of it. Meanwhile, we've got a rampant white supremacist who learned what he knows from a place that we fought to ensure that the people of South Africa would be free from the type of tyranny that his grandparents, at least we know that. I'm still getting to understanding where his parents stood, but this is how he was raised. This is what these people believe, and this is what he now is a part of trying to design in our nation, which is an all-white, all-male-led nation organization that leaves everybody else to be servants, that makes sure that other people are in a tier or a class beneath him. It is real. It's happening in front of your eyes in this particular moment. What you see is what it is. It walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it is an actual duck. So be clear, in fact, we are where we think we are.
No, we definitely will. And I have this conversation all the time. And, you know, it was a lot of people loud before the election. They're very quiet now. You know, they moved on. And we still here because we understand the seriousness of what we're dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
And when I'm listening to Elon, what he's doing is it's a playbook. You know, people don't study Hitler. They don't study the Nazis. If you study what they did, they created distrust in the government.
Right.
And that's the first thing you do, and it doesn't have to be true. So what he's doing now by saying that there's billions of dollars being stolen from our taxpayers' money, but never providing who's stealing it, right? If you're going through there, you're saying that they stole billions of dollars. You're saying that they got a 150-year-old man that's on Social Security. What's the man's name? What's his Social Security number? If you're saying that people are making $30 million that make 25 that make 250,000, who are these people? Why you know what I'm saying? Why don't you have any information to substantiate any claim? You just throw that out to people who already distrust the government, and you do that to people and they just grab onto it, and it doesn't have to have basis. It's just the fact that you're inside those rooms, people validate those statements as being true, and it's very dangerous. And what you do is create people to believe that you're the only hope that they have. You're the savior, right? You create the savior process, and you make yourself look like the savior, and you're saving the American people from shit that you've actually created. And it's called misdirection. They misdirection. They have us focusing on this shit while they over here actually stealing and doing a bunch of shit. Yet the eggs and the milk is still not low, and we still have.
It went up higher.
And it's actually higher, and nobody's focusing on it. Talking about, oh, we didn't have no wars. This man's about to have damn near World War III. He's talking about taking over Gaza. He's ready to empower, you know, Putin. He's empowering Netanyahu even more. So it's like, for me, he made threats like this. This is really what I call the shit show. It's a complete shit show, and watching it happen in real time, and watching people act like it's not happening, and people thinking that we're gonna get money, get a couple of dollars, and let's go get out of it. Capitalism has never helped Black people. It's never got us out of our situation. You know, I was listening to Nick Cannon. He was doing a stand-up comedy, and I say this all the time. He was like 100 years ago, Black people had 1% of this America's wealth, and he said, you know how much wealth we have in America? 1%. So you look and you think people are doing better, and you see these things, it's the same exact shit, and it tricks you to believe something that's not happening. You know, so when we think that the plan is we're gonna get money. If we get money and we're not unified and we're not building our own, and we're not on the same accord, we're gonna be a bunch of people that's not unified with money. We're gonna be individuals that spend our money and nothing that's built, because these people are strategic. These people are diabolical, and they're strategic, and they're building, like Elon Musk. They talking about he got a $400 million contract with the government, that Tesla is the car for the government. Like, this shit is real. When they fire all the people that's supposed to be running these organizations, who you think is going to be running? AI is going to be running everything. So this they know what they doing. This is a play. Of course, get rid of all these people. We go fuck them. They don't need a job. We're going to get AI to do the job that they got, and we're going to keep the money, and we're going to throw it in our pocket, and we're going to say that we paid for the resources, because these motherfucking AI robots that they got is 30 or 40 or 50 or 60,000 now. So they got a strategy. We just not involved.
They're still going to take the money and pay for the new systems and everything.
Exactly. It ain't gonna go to you.
And they're knocking out.
It's not gonna accomplish your Black ass.
And these people, federal workers, who are being fired from their jobs every single day, that we're not even talking about. The faces haven't really appeared on the news because there's all these lawsuits going on. And so you're not seeing them, but they are real live people who have been working. This is how they've maintained their families. Now they will not have jobs anymore. And to your point, it's not that they're saving any money. They're just going to figure out how to
redirect it so that they benefit.
Building robots, building systems and machinery. They're still going to spend the money. They're just going to spend it with people who look like them, and they're not going to spend it on what they call diversity, equity, and inclusion, which means that the white men will be in power, running everything, controlling the actual machinery, doing the programming, maybe some other people, a little bit of folks, but as has been said, I forget the man's name who said it, there needs to be white men that's competent to help run this country. This is coming out of the mouths of people who work within the government, that it needs to be white men. So they're gonna put white men over the entire, in terms of all the leadership positions. They might have some white women able to work in some of the departments to do the administrative stuff, and then everybody else is considered to be DEI and unqualified, and they don't need jobs. And let me tell you, let me also say to you, they have not told you that when they find all this money, they're going to somehow put it back in your pocket. They haven't said that. Where's the plan? Since we found all of this money, now we're going to redirect it to you. No. Part of the problem is that people who are hearing this, some of the people who see folks getting fired and whatever, they haters. They're haters. It makes them feel good that a lady who is 52, 53 years old, who has worked for the last 20 years in a good government job, that does her work every day, they are happy to see that that person got fired, because you know what? They don't feel like they ever made anything of their own lives.
That's the thing. That's the era we in. We in the era where people are mad at people who have been successful, and they want to see you fall. They do not want to see people who have amassed some level of wealth or success that they haven't amassed. They do not want that to continue on, and they celebrate you losing. They salivate to see somebody fall from grace, and it's terrible. And that was what Trump's America is to me. They want to see people lose. Like there's a meme going around, about immigration, and it has the white man sitting in the middle with a whole plate full of cookies, and there's a black man got one cookie on his plate, and then there's a Hispanic man on the other side, and the white man is talking to the black man, saying he's trying to get you a cookie. Right? And when you look at it, he got all the cookies, but he telling us to fight over this one cookie because that's the cookie that he wants your cookie. So you got to make sure he get the fuck out of here. Don't worry about my cookies. I got 100 cookies over here, but you need to protect that one cookie you got over there from him. And they got us thinking we the enemy, but the reality is you the one that's depriving us of the cookies. So
yeah, there it is. Well, I think speaking of the cookies and deprivation and all the things that we're suffering with, this brother that we have coming up today is a part of a cast for a movie called Sing Sing, and I look forward to hearing him talk about the success. But yet on the other side, there's been a lot.
My brother, man, so, he's coming up. So once again, we have a friend to the room, a brother to me. Someone that I've known a very long time, real good brother, and he's doing a million things that are positive. We were incarcerated together, and he came home and he hit the ground running. And right now, he's like the talk of the town. My brother Clarence Divine I Maclin. How you doing today?
Peace. Yo, listen, it's a pleasure and a blessing to be here with you, brother. Wish I could be in the studio in person, man, but my schedule is crazy right now.
We all got the same kind of things. Tamika's on her book tour, so she's running around. I'm helping her do that, and then I got all these programs, and we doing boycotts. So it's a million stuff going on, and I got these kids, so it made sense for everybody, man. So how you been, man?
Oh, man, fantastic. It's just been a ride, man. You know what I'm saying? Meeting so many fantastic people and having the honor to be in the rooms with, a lot of the people that we watched on TV and watched in the movies and all that. And to see them have like real human problems, like the fire and all that, real human problems, you know what I'm saying? And see how they crumble under that too. Like this pressure don't got a prescription. It just bite anybody.
That's right.
So that's interesting because you're in entertainment and filmmaking and acting, and to hear you say that people are dealing with real life issues, folks forget that some of the people who lost their homes or dealt with the fires in California are regular folks who work on sets
Right, right.
or in
Not just only the movie stars. You got people that make a living from the peripheral things that happen in the industry, like waiting the tables at a gala or something like that, or being a waiter or being a cook or whatever. You know, their
right,
lives are disrupted too.
right,
Ooh, that's for
absolutely.
real. So
That's those
I
individuals.
want you to explain the process. Like I
Hmm.
said, I met Divine I inside prison in B
Yeah,
block. You know what I'm saying? We was working out together. He was like one of the
yeah.
big brothers that took me under the wing when I first got to Sing Sing. And you went from that to coming home to being one of the co-stars in the movie Sing Sing. Like how did that actually happen, my brother?
Well, you know that, when you was in there, when we was in there, we was putting on shows.
That's right.
The
That's right.
RTA, Rehabilitation Through the Arts programs. We put on 2 shows a year. Now, first, when I first got there, they was already doing it. I had really no intention on being an actor, getting on stage, none of that. You know what I'm saying? What happened was, I was going to the yard, take care of some business. I was on my other thing, but the yard got shut down because of the thundering and lightning. So we had to divert the business to the chapel where they was putting on a play. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you get in there, you in there. It ain't no
That's
early
right.
go back.
No
You
go
in.
back. That's right.
So now I done took care of the business. Now I'm just sitting here and I'm watching. And as I'm watching, I'm seeing brothers that I know from the yard, brothers I know from the mess hall that work in the kitchen, law library, brothers that I respect, that I came to this prison and learned to respect because of their handle. And because past things, they OGs now, but they had their time and they
Mm-hmm.
well respected. So I'm watching the bros put it on, and I used to draw and all that when I was younger. It's pretty much like you in the music. The art, it just stays in you. No matter, I came up with the art. You know what I mean? But something about that situation turned that artist back on and
Mm-hmm.
made me want to reconnect with the artist part of me. You know what I mean? And that's how I got into the program. I had to wait a whole year because you can't have no tickets, you can't be getting in no trouble or nothing for a whole year before you can even get in the program. So
Mm-hmm.
at that time I was a hot boy, son. I was getting in trouble. I had to wait a whole year. I did that shit, got in the program, and like kind of like when you learn how to do the right and live right, it's kind of hard to go back and to live in the same way you used to because you know now. You
That's
know what
right.
I mean? It's
That's
another
right.
way. We got options. I don't have to be the yard hound, or I don't have to be the nigga that's in everything all the time. You know what I mean? I got my own goals, I got my own life, and I got my own people that I'm responsible for coming home a better man too.
That's
Did you
real.
always know that you wanted to be in arts and entertainment?
No, I didn't actually. Like I said, I like to draw and paint and be more constructive with my hands. But once I seen them doing it, the cocky me is like, if they could do what I could do. You know
Right,
what
right, right,
I'm
right.
So I seen the movie, right?
saying?
You sent me the invite, like, yo, pull up to the premiere. I went
Yeah,
there with another one of our brothers. We was locked up with our brother Molly Mall, and
yeah,
we
yeah,
sat there and we watched the movie in amazement. And the job you did, like I knew from then that it was gonna get the reviews that it got. I knew that people was gonna look and be like, "Yo, this dude is a star." Because I was shocked. I'm just used to seeing my brother. This is my brother. But when I seen you
yeah.
in that form, it seemed authentic, but it still seemed like you was acting, right? It just
Yeah, for sure.
it worked. It was you, but it was acting. It was you learned how to turn on emotion, turn it off, how to be this at this time, and then you was alongside one actor that I love. Domingo was like one of the
Yeah,
dope actors. So
yeah,
watching
and one of the greatest people. You know what I mean? I'm genuinely just a great dude, bro. One of the
and then
greatest
watching
people, bro.
y'all feed off the energy that y'all fed off each other was just immaculate, man. So I
Yeah,
just
so
want
a
to
lot of
say,
people ask me, how was it to be playing myself? But I'm saying, that there was a difference. There was an acting part in that because what I did was I took a lot of the elements from experiences that I witnessed, not that I had to partake in, or even behaviors on the course of that 17.5-year period, and going to college studying psychology at the time, getting a degree in behavioral science. While we was there, I'm studying people. So at that time, I'm taking behaviors and experience that I already witnessed and weaved all that into that character. It wasn't just me.
Exactly. And that's what I said. It was masterful because I know the part of it that was you, but then I
Yeah.
also seen where you had to improvise and you had to create,
Right.
you had to draw within and have a skill level. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
say it was amazing what you did, man. It was
I
amazing.
appreciate that, King. Word up.
Some people would say that it's brilliance, right? That you can actually do that because not everybody can do it, or else they would. And to,
Right.
be in a situation where now you have people interviewing you, talking to you, asking you to tell more about your story, it has to feel like it's bigger than a movie. It has to feel
Yes.
like you're really shining a light on and bringing awareness to what goes on within the system and the human people, because we often forget that. We think
Right.
when we think about prisons and people going away, they become a part of like a silent society that we never talk
Right.
about, and you're bringing so much attention to it. So how does that feel for you, and what is the message that Sing Sing is getting across to the world?
Well, it feels kind of like I'm putting it in a ambassadorial position, like I'm an ambassador for this message now, because I've done the very first film festival in San Quentin. I was there. We showed the movie. I did a conversation with the guys, and I went to Utah prison. I spoke with both women and male prisoners, and a lot of them are LWOPs. So LWOP is life without parole. And a lot of them are questioning what is the purpose of change now. And my message to them is that the purpose of change now may not be for you. It may be for those who are watching you, the babies at home, whoever looking up to you for whatever reason. Your purpose for change could be for them. You know what I'm saying? If they could see a better you, then maybe they could be a better them. And that may be what your mission is now. You know what I mean? So that's what my mission would be. That's what my message to those behind the wall. But for those on this side of the wall, my message would be that the people inside prison are just that, people. And you should see some redeemable qualities in everybody. I mean, if you are a religious person, if you are a righteous person who goes by whatever spirituality you go to, then you know that there's redeemable qualities in everyone. Does that stop when you get sentenced? Am I no longer redeemable? Can I still be of some good? And that's the question.
And that's the question that we all gotta answer within ourselves, like being incarcerated. How long did you do actually?
I did 17.5 years in prison.
After doing 17 and a half years, coming home, you made up your mind that you was redeemable, because this is, although you've taken acting and you hitting the ground running, and I foresee you just doing amazing things, but that wasn't the first thing you did. You came home
Nah.
dealing with at-risk youth, mentoring kids, doing all of those things in schools, and we were working together to do things with the
Right,
kids.
right.
So we all knew that we had things to offer. We all knew that our experiences and the things that we went through, and we had redeemable qualities that we can offer to these children and to the next generation. So now you've taken, not only did you take that warrior spirit and that redeemable quality and come back outside with it, now you put it into this acting. And it's amazing
Yeah.
just watching this transition. How many awards have you won? Like every
I
time I
think like
look,
20, I think like 21 awards and like 30 something nominations. I'm
that's
Wow.
still on the road though. I'm about to get the NAACP Image Award, the Spirit Award, the Oscar, hopefully.
yeah, that's what I'm talking
That's
about,
right.
man.
Speaking into existence. Speaking of being on the road, you were supposed to attend something in Europe.
Yeah, the BAFTA. The BAFTA, it's like the British equivalent of the Oscars.
Okay. So you were supposed to be there, but you were denied entry, or
Yes.
been told you're denied entry into Europe. How does that feel that what is it? The collateral consequences, as our brother Jay Jordan would say, still linger?
Yeah, it makes me feel like someone wants me to be reminded I'm a product, and you know what I'm saying, I belong to someone or something, because the stigma that's attached to me is more than 30 years old. The last time I had police contact was more than 30 years ago. So how long am I supposed to be an ex-offender? How long am I a ex-felon? How long? You know what I mean? I thought the debt was supposed to be paid, whether I did it or not. The time is paid or right now. So why am I still stigmatized? And why is it cool? I know it's not on the part of the bastards. It's not a part. It's not on the part of the people that wanted me there. Shout out to them. Shout out to all the love I received from across the pond, because I got a lot from brothers and sisters over there that I've met in these states on this Oscar run, on this awards run, with all these great people I've met that are over there now. And they thoroughly up. They as upset as, or maybe even more upset than I am that I'm not there, because of what it's saying and how juxtaposed it is to the message in the
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, it almost makes the point of the film.
Right, it does actually.
Yeah. I think, you know, what you're doing is amazing. I hope that every person, first of all, sees it, but certainly young folks who are coming up, or people who might be, you know, in their early adulthood, because I think what you are trying to do now is it will help somebody to see the perspectives and make different decisions. And so hopefully your
Yeah.
message is wide and loud. I wish you an Oscar. I wish you the NAACP award and everything else, because, you know, it's not easy. It's just like in my book, it's not easy to tell people your true story and to like be vulnerable and open up spaces and wounds. I can't imagine how it feels for you having to play a part that it wasn't all good days, right? 17 and a half years had to open up some wounds.
Yeah, well, you know, it's got to be a level of apprehension to walk right back into a place that you clawed yourself out of. You did everything to get out of this spot. You know what I mean? And to voluntarily walk back in, and to voluntarily put back on the same uniform that so readily identifies you as an outcast to everybody, with the number on there and everything, your whole identity being reduced to this number on your show, on your shirt. So it's got to be some, but however, the message that needed to be given to the people, about people in here, about people who find themselves in hell, because you got to be a different kind of strong to find yourself in hell. You know, it's a different level of strength needed here, and to hold on to that, is a different kind of strength. You know, so, but that message that these kind of people do exist inside hell, people that has found themselves and has held on to themselves. So that message needed to be heard.
Wow.
So you have a new film called Sing Sing. Tell us what it's about.
Yeah, Sing Sing is really, it's framed inside of a prison, but it's not a prison movie. It's more of a human story about growth, transformation, about being tender and gentle in a place where those things are not really allowed. So it's about becoming, it's about growing, it's about manhood in a sense.
That's real. When I watched it, that's what I got. You know, I sat there and I watch movies. You know, and I just picked it apart, and it was like it told a tale, and it was like being somebody who was in Sing Sing, knowing, you know, the intricacies. It brought me back to being in Sing Sing. Like it really brought me back, and then at the end of the movie, it shows brothers that we were locked up and doing the program.
Yeah,
it literally shows the program, and I see like 4
the clips at the end, right? The clips at the end.
I see you in there. I see Divide. I see all the brothers. I see Shorty King. I'm looking like, wow, brothers that we was literally locked up with, and they showing the pieces of it at the end, and it warms my heart just to see the evolution that we've made. So I just want to say,
man,
I'm so proud of you, brother. You know, and I believe that you definitely gonna get that Oscar because you deserve it. You know, and this little minor setback with the BAFTA, you know, the next film, they're gonna make sure that they give you a clemency. They're gonna make sure that you get out there because you're gonna be such a big star that they're gonna make sure that you out there. So man, just continue to do what you made to do, man. You always had, even, and I tell this other to you, always been a good dude. Even when you was out there doing whatever, you was in jail and you was hustling, it was never negativity. Your energy was always authentic. You embraced me like
Appreciate
a
that,
little
kid.
brother, made sure I was safe all the time, make sure I was good, worked out with me, pushed me to the next level, all of those things. So I just want to say, man, I appreciate you, man. Continue
Yeah,
to
good
be
looking,
great,
brother.
man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, sis.
That's amazing. It's amazing to hear you all bond in this way. And I love it. I'm so proud of you for what you're doing. Keep going. Sing Sing is just one. You're going to have 10, 15, 20 more films to come. And we know that's true. We claiming it already, claiming the Oscar,
Yes.
claiming the whole thing. It's going to happen. It is for sure.
Thank you so much.
When you
Thanks
give
for having me.
17 years of your life away, God has to restore you and give you something back. So you good.
Thank you.
I love you, brother. Be safe, man.
All right, peace, King. Thank you.
Peace. Shout out to my brother Clarence, Divine Eye Maclin, man. As you can see, he's one of the most authentic people. His energy has always been like that. You know, when I first met him, he had dreads. He was working out. He was probably one of the most diesel dudes in the jail. He used to have me on the bar with him working out. Always been a good dude, man. So to see him elevate to this place, you got to see Sing Sing. I'm making sure you see Sing Sing real soon. This is a dope film.
Absolutely. He's very animated. He's going to have a great career in entertainment, and thankfully he's able to do entertainment with a purpose. So
yes, with a purpose. So that brings me to my I don't get it. Now, what I don't get is, you know, the Super Bowl happened, and it's just been all of this talk about Kendrick Lamar. And, you know, and people are angry. And I don't understand why white people are so mad that a black man decided to talk about black stuff when he had opportunity in a stage. Like, it really is crazy to me. Like, white people are pissed off. They got this one actor, you know, his name is Robert DeVee, and he's been in like a lot of gang movies and, you know, gangster movies, and he plays a gangster a lot. And he is so pissed off. And he said, I'm tired of the street stuff, and I'm tired of the ratchet stuff, I'm tired of the gangster this and that, and I don't want to hear it no more. You know, let's go back to blues music and jazz, and you know, who authorized Kendrick to be there? You hear all types of people. So I just don't know why white people are mad at Kendrick Lamar. Like I really don't get it. Like the man, I loved it. To me, it was the best halftime performance. And numbers, men lie, women lie, and numbers don't. The numbers say it's the best. It's the most viewed of all times. Y'all still critiquing it 2 weeks afterwards. So I don't understand what the white people are so mad about. I really don't. I just don't get it.
But
It wasn't for you.
It's not just white people. I think that there are black folks that are also, you know, feeling whatever kind of way about his performance. But I think the best meme that I saw was the one that said, you know how many times white people have performed and I didn't know anything they were saying. Nothing. Didn't know what they were saying. Didn't understand any of the lyrics. The music doesn't resonate with me.
Every time I used to watch the Grammys, I used to say that.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
they be saying people's won Grammys, and I'd be like, who the hell is this? And where did this song come from?
yeah, I mean, I promise you, and I'm not suggesting that she's good, bad, or indifferent, because I have no problem with Taylor Swift. She never did anything to me. I think she's fine. She seems to be beloved by lots of young kids, and especially white kids. Love her, love her, love her. I'm fine with her. Taylor Swift, I got no problem, because I don't want anybody saying Tamika said Taylor Swift. I have no problem with her. But what I will say is that I did not even know who she was or what she said. I didn't know. All of a sudden, I started to hear that Taylor Swift had more of a following and was actually more, I guess, prominent, if you will, or bigger celebrity than Beyonce. So when I heard that, I'm like, who y'all talk? Like, it's just, that's really hard to accomplish, being a bigger celebrity than Beyonce. So I'm like, who is this? It was Taylor Swift. And then people went back and reminded me of Kanye and, you know, the different things that's happened throughout her career. And I'm like, oh, that's her. I don't know who Taylor Swift is. I could not sing. If you right now said, I better sing it or you're going to throw eggs on me, I would be egged up because I don't know the words to her songs.
You'd be egged up.
I don't know them.
I know probably like 1 or 2 songs. It just,
Maybe I do, but I don't even know I know it. I don't know that I know her songs. I know certain people's songs. I know Bruce Springsteen's music. I know Madonna's music. I know certain white folk. I know what they sing and I like it, right? And I like it. Or at least it's mall music that every time I walk in a certain store, I hear the same songs. They play it on the plane. I get it. It is what it is. I did not know who Taylor Swift was until recently when they started talking about her and Beyonce and sort of making comparisons there. And I love the fact that her and Beyonce came out together. Like, we're not allowing this to be a thing, but nonetheless, I didn't know who she was. I'm not mad when they have white artists. I expect that over the cycle of time, there's going to be different types of people that come with different types of music. And so what? And then when they said, then they said, well, he couldn't find one white person. You know how many times I've watched white people do everything all white? Everything. Music, jobs, companies, boardrooms. I mean, shit, everything. The damn president has a primarily almost every single person white cabinet. So, like, what are you talking about? And I can't even tell you who's the person that's not white. And certainly, even if there is somebody there that's not white, I think there's a black man over, maybe it was HUD, I don't know.
There's always the same position.
But even if he ain't on no TV, ain't nobody pumping him up. He ain't in the Oval Office where we seeing him all the time and he's standing next to Trump. We don't, so what's the problem?
It comes with the game, man. Get over it. It's not for you. If you didn't like it, good. I loved it. Let's go, K-Dot.
People are not happy with you for liking it so much.
Man,
people are like, it's trash.
My mother used to say, if you mad, scratch your ass and get glad. So that brings us to the end of another episode of the TMI show. Thank you for all the support that you give us. Make sure you continue to follow us. Let us know if you love us. Let us know if you hate us. Leave us messages. Who do y'all want us to interview? We need all of the feedback. We appreciate you. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at TMI_show and on YouTube, TMI Show PC. I'm not going to always be right. Tamika D. Mallory's not going to always be wrong, but we will both always, and I mean always, be authentic.
Peace.